We've been waiting for a long time. Yes, we've been waiting for a long, long time. We've been waiting for a long time. But we ain't gonna wait no more. We're getting ready to rock and roll. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town.
Some folks have a strange idea of entertainment.
So, what you're saying is we need to find more people to grind up.
Hello, welcome back everyone to In the Spotlight. I'm John Horton.
And I'm Kyle Pierson. And today we're going to review a brand new film called Sweet Meats. Hasn't even been premiered yet. It's going to premiere at a local film festival near you as part of Hands Across Tromerica. The film is an interesting, a combination of sorts. It's a horror movie that is very comedic, and it's a musical, all in one. To be honest, the first few minutes, I'm like, okay, it's going to be one of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to get into it or not. And had I not been reviewing it, I may have given up on it too early. Thankfully, I was reviewing it. I stayed with it. And the longer you watch, the better it gets. This is very funny. Ricky Glore directed it and stars in it, just as he did with All Your Friends Are Dead. And he's a comedian, which explains why there's so much comedy involved in this. And then one of the real scene stealers is Eileen Earnest, who plays his girlfriend, who is, she's really in it for the restaurant that they work at. It starts with the story about looking back in the past and how Bobby Sweet became infamous. And she wants the restaurant chain, and he just wants to be a country music star. But along the way, something sinister happens, and it's what makes all of their wildest dreams come true. Except for the fact that she's really not too keen on Bobby Sweet herself. So she's kind of dealing with him to get what she really wants. And what he would really want is her. So it's a very unique movie. Like I said, there's a lot of music in it. Maybe a little too much. There's a couple times where I'm like, okay, here we go again with another musical number. But it fits the way this works, because it actually, we stop the action for a music video for a minute, then we come back, but something always funny is taking place. And at first it doesn't even feel, I thought, like a horror movie, just like his other film. All Your Friends Are Dead. The first death doesn't take place until like an hour into the movie. This is the same situation. Even though you started off with something in the future that is deadly, then there's this big gap as we're building back up to it. So I like the way this one is put together more than his previous film. So as he's making these, I think they're improving. But the real attraction for me is the chemistry between the two leads. Ricky and Eileen are phenomenal. They were really good together in the previous film, but this one, they take it to another level. She is hysterical. I guess she's done some improv work in the past. She did some stuff with a children's hospital even, I believe. So it's very impressive what these two have been able to put together on a shoestring budget. But I was impressed. I'm glad I saw the film all the way through and didn't give up on it through musical number 2 or number 3, because if you give it a shot, you're going to cringe a couple times, but you're certainly going to laugh when you see Sweet Meats. John, what do you think?
I liked it. I really liked it. With this movie, I went into it completely blind. The only thing I knew about it was part of Troma's Hands Across Tromerica, that it was something that they were distributing, and the poster that you see behind me. Those are the only two things I knew. I didn't read up on it. I don't like really reading up because I like to be surprised. The opening scene in the barn, I was like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm expecting. And then it shifts gears completely to this backstory of Bobby Sweet working at the restaurant with I can't remember her name. What was her character name?
Laddie.
Laddie.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard to remember, because it's a boy's name.
Yes.
And they make a point of that.
Yes, they do.
But
what I was surprised with when they were talking about that, and they said, "Why did you go with Laddie?" And because I thought she would say because Lassie is a dog's name, but we didn't go there. But the scene is still funny the way it is.
Oh yes, but we go into the backstory of him working there and how he inadvertently makes this restaurant famous for their hamburgers and their meat. And her relationship with him, kind of the manipulative bitch, and the friendship that they have with the other employee there, Jerry, that he has with Jerry. She can't stand Jerry. He's their buddies, their pals. They call each other friend. And it's just a really great movie. I like the dynamic between all the characters. I like the musicals. For me, most of the songs in the movie are earworms. I listen to the soundtrack going to work, and while I'm at work, I'm singing "The Devil is a Woman I Know, Devil is a Woman I Know." They're earworms. I like all of them. I don't feel like there was too many. I didn't really pay.
They are short. That helps because they're not like full long songs.
Oh, yeah.
It's like excerpts of songs, and I think that's what keeps the film going. And they're funny, so that does help. Yeah, if we just stopped for a long, full music video that had really, it was just a tune. Yeah, I think I probably would have tuned off.
Probably.
But the fact that he's trying to be with something and he's so exaggerated. I mean, he's overdoing the whole thing, and that's what makes it so much fun. Is the fact that it's some good old country boys trying to be Nashville stars.
Yeah. But there is a lot of good comedy to it. I laughed so hard at the pizza scene. I'm watching that and I'm going, God, this guy is like really going over this way too much. And then Bobby's response to the customer wanting a pizza, I just died.
Yeah.
No, hilarious.
And the thing is, I'm watching them like, and because we were wondering at one point if this was crowdfunded. And I'm like, well, if it is, they got really lucky because the people that would have bought the characters were really good at those performances because he was Pizza Guy was phenomenal. And he just goes into it. And he had to have been improving some of that. And then there's another woman who likes to like finish her meal and then ask for a refund. And I didn't want to give it away, which but the scene is very long and detailed. And again, she is phenomenal in that role, this woman, because she's like, oh, I want and you're watching this, and I'm like, yeah, I could believe that. So even as far overacted as they may be, it still fits perfectly with the way it should be. That's how you should do it to bring attention to this. Because if they had gone a layer down, I don't think it would have had as much impact as those two roles did the way they were performed.
Exactly. They did it, and there's a fair amount of bloodshed. There's some good blood showers. The ending I loved when we finally see who is putting up the signs, the heavy metal concert signs, and they meet the pig butcher. I thought that was brilliant. The end video was funny as shit with Jerry and his banana. I can't really say it's truly an independent movie. Truly.
Oh yeah.
It's everything that I feel an independent movie should feel like, look like, and be,
Yeah, this is not.
It doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to have cameos from horror movie stars. It doesn't have to have today's. And I love it. It was great.
Yeah, no, it's one of those films too where, because usually with a lot of these I watch and I'm like, okay, well, I'm never gonna watch that again. I was like, I had my fill, it was fine, but every once in a while you come across a movie where the more you think about it, the better it gets. And certain things like the pizza scene pops into my mind when these two right here are talking about how, you've never even held my hand, and you talk about how much you love me, and then what she does at that moment, is just it didn't have to go that way. It could have been so simple. It could have been, and again, they take it to another level, and you're like, wow, this is really well done by people who really, well, first of all, really are comfortable with each other, could have fun with each other. They've worked together before, and it just was insanely surprising as to how good this thing all just came together. And again, like you were saying, it is not a polished movie by any shape or way or form, but it's a group of people that are like, we're going to make this movie. It's probably not going to get done any other way. And they set forth and made it, and here they are. And it's going to be at film festivals across the country. So kudos to them, and very, very well done.
Yes, I agree 100%. Like Kyle said, this movie is right now in its world premiere stage. It's going to open this Saturday, the 22nd of March, in Cincinnati, where some of this movie was filmed. 33 minutes away from me is Nick's Restaurant. Bobby Mackey's. Yeah, we're going to go there Saturday.
Oh, excellent.
Bobby Mackey's that they did all the music video scenes at. That's just across the river in Kentucky.
Really?
Yeah, and sadly enough, they just tore down Bobby Mackey. Bobby Mackey's is a haunted bar, and they just tore it down because it cost more to renovate than it would be to tear it down and rebuild.
Oh, that's too bad.
So that was the last movie to film there, which is pretty cool.
By the way, that's what I want to do.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
I want us to find what supposedly is one of the most haunted houses in the country. And you, me, and our wives are going to go there and spend the night. And we're going to take cameras, and we're going to, for once and for all, we're going to either find a damn ghost or we're not going to find a damn ghost. And then we can either rest assured whether, we're going to do our own little Mythbusters and find out what's going on.
Hey, I'm down for it.
I would love to.
You might not like it. I might not survive the night because I'm going to I'm going to antagonize them. If you've never seen one of the videos where we go to a supposed haunted spot, I antagonize the shit. I holler out the window, much to Stacy's displeasure.
I have not seen those videos.
Oh yeah.
I was at a I don't think I brought this up previously, but we were at stop me if I have. We were at a place in Pennsylvania for it's like the Civil War stuff and Gettysburg and all that. And we went to the house where this woman was the only civilian that was ever killed because the bullet went through the house and killed her.
Oh wow!
So supposedly the house is haunted. So my wife and I go in there, and the tour guide's like, oh, somebody ghost has moved the blanket. The blanket used to be up over here, and now it's over here. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And oh, these aren't in the right spot. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
Did you hear that noise upstairs? I'm like, yeah, it's the tourists that are upstairs. So I'm sitting there, so I'm not into it. But this one woman was petrified. She was so scared. So we leave, and she's clinging on to her boyfriend or husband. I mean, she's just like this, and they're walking, and I'm about 20 feet behind. And Paul and I are walking, and I realize that she's going to be walking right next to my car.
No way.
I reach in, I get, and pop the trunk just as she walks right by it. She screamed, jumped up, and I'm just sitting there dying laughing. And she turns around, and I'm like, "Oh my, I'm so sorry. I just need to get something out of my trunk." And my wife's like, "No, you didn't. No, you didn't." I thought I turned that phone off. I'm sorry. Look at that. It's a good thing we're not doing the interview now because my phone went off. But yeah, my wife was like, "You did that on purpose." I'm like, "Of course I did that on purpose."
Of course. How could you not?
It was probably me because I could have given that woman a heart attack. And that wraps it up for today's episode. But related to this, we got a big announcement for tomorrow's episode. Yes, we're going to do a special episode tomorrow. John, tell us all about it.
It is going to be a special presentation. We are going to be interviewing the director, Ricky Glore, and his NKY Films co-founder, Nicholas Heinz. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. Jesus.
We'll find out tomorrow. It's Nicholas and Ricky.
Yes,
tomorrow.
Nicholas and Ricky. My name is Jeff.
So it's a Sweet Meats double feature this week. So tune in tomorrow and get a little bit of background information on how they put this fun film together.
Absolutely. And we'll see you then tomorrow in the spotlight.
They're serving up something more than
Burgers and fries!
Burgers and fries!
burgers and fries.